give you 3 separate definitions of the word detail.
All right.
And the first one being, a detail are particulars considered individually and in relation to a whole. Let me say that one more time. Particulars considered individually and in relation to a whole. The whole body of Christ, as well as all people of faith, is very similar to a family. A family dates back many years, and its members that are alive come from many different generations. You and your brothers and sisters and cousins make up one generation. Your parents, uncles, and aunts make up the following generation. And your grandparents make up the next, and so on. All of these people make up a whole family, and you are an individual in relation to that whole. You are, for the purpose of this lesson, a detail. A detail is something that is small in comparison to the whole, but very important and essential to completing it. Without the small detail, the whole becomes weak, or dies, or becomes ineffective.
Preach.
Now, the next definition I will give to you is a representation of such a part or portion. A representation of such a part or portion. All across the nation, there are studies about how the number of youth in the church is growing smaller in number. The reasons being that they are either find it hard to believe in something that science tries its best to disprove. They see corruption in the church, and it makes it hard or impossible to trust it or its members. Or they are misinformed or underinformed. They lack the knowledge about God and Jesus and religion that they need to speak intelligently about the subject. And even if they do believe, they can't defend themselves from the people who criticize them. This is how the devil kills 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. The representatives of the church can't be trusted, so the youth, you guys, eventually turn away from it.
Look at that. Look.
The youth are misinformed about the word, so when the older people in the church die out, we are left with a bunch of young people who don't know where they're going or what they're doing or what they're talking about. The enemy, this is how the enemy wants to handle the representation of God's body, God's family. I'm here to tell you today, young people, that the devil is in the details. He knows how important you are, even if no one else does. Your mother might not know it. Your father might not know it. Your teacher might not even care to know it. He knows how important you are to the whole, so he wants to see how he can use you to make the whole family and the body of Christ weak, dead, and ineffective. Not only are you a detail that contributes to the strength of your family and the body of Christ, but there are details that make you who you are. Details that will shape you in the person that you want to become. The details that will help you grow. The details that will make you whole. So yes, the devil is in the details, but so is God. The difference is that the devil is concerned about the details that will bring about your destruction, but God is concerned about the details that will bring about your completion. And the last and final definition I will impart on you to this evening is a small elaborated element of a work of art, craft, or design. When you look at a painting or listen to a piece of music or enjoy anything artistic, 9 times out of 10, you're hearing the finished product, correct?
Yeah.
You won't hear any singers on the radio singing off key. You won't hear a drummer miss a beat, and you won't see anything wrong with the painting. Why? Because the artist is perfect? No, because the artist wants you to experience the best representation of their work. To the non-artist, these things may seem insignificant while in the creative process, but But the artist knows all too well that to get it just right, you gotta warm up before recording that vocal. You gotta drink that room temperature water. They gotta put some auto-tune on that off note. They gotta start from scratch a few times if the dimensions aren't quite right on that face. They gotta change the color scheme of the entire painting when someone comes along and spills Kool-Aid on it. They have to pay attention to the detail. God is in the details of creation and the completion thereof. The things that make you grow. The things that bring you closer to Him. The things that help you deal with other people. The things that help you spread His word. And He's in the words you need to defend yourself from people who don't believe and want to criticize you for believing. He's the eraser that fixes your smudges. He's the contrast paint that fixes your spills. He's the tea that keeps you in good voice. I need everyone to turn to your neighbor right now, particularly your youth neighbor, and say, turn to him right now and say, God is in your details. The devil won't